everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. Excuse me. It is extremely loud in my ears. I'm Kyle Bossman, your moderator. I'm joined by Bradley Ellis. Thank you, Ian.
Cloud Strife.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
Brandon Jones.
Captain America.
And this is our live E3 episode. We are talking to a live audience right now. We can't hear what they're saying. Music's still going. But this is normally where we fade it out. Okay. Okay, bring it back up. This is always where we bring it back
Kyle wanted
up.
to have the headphones on, just so you know.
It's because I can hear, I can hear all of you so well. Yeah, I can hear that.
Nice.
No secrets are getting by me. This is the first, I'm out of my mind right now. This is the first time we're going to do our new opening segment. Glenny's Cauldron is done.
Crap.
Oh no.
Yeah, the cauldrons are sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you
We're
want
not
to
prepped for this.
Yeah, if you want to join the game jam, by the way, Google Glenny's Cauldron Jam. It's easier than finding on itch.io, but that will take you to itch.io. The new segment to open this podcast is the Desire Index.
Oh.
So each week to start off the podcast, we will add one game to the Desire Index. But because this is the first day of Desire Index, we're adding 2 games.
Okay.
Did we kill this forever?
We killed last year's Forever.
Yeah.
This is a whole new edition of the Desire Index.
Okay.
2019 edition.
Yeah, it's like a tree, you know? Okay. Which do you desire more, panel? Doom Eternal or Cyberpunk 2077?
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Why?
I played Doom. I know what Doom is. I love Doom.
Yeah.
For me, Cyberpunk is just a bit more unknown, and I'm very curious.
I didn't say which one are you more curious about, Brad.
But that's me being excited for it.
Okay.
I desire that more.
You desire curiosity.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Blood, you also were very certain immediately.
Yeah.
Why?
For one, as much as I would like to play it, I still haven't gotten around to playing the last Doom. So
Shame on you, Bloodworth.
That is my fault. But I think to me that just is clear evidence of where my actual desire lies.
You could play
for the long term.
Cyberpunk. You could bring out of the old pencils and dice. We could play Cyberpunk right now. But you're not.
That's not the same thing. It's not even remotely close to that same
All
thing.
right. Okay. A little too cute. Jones, you sounded less certain.
Oh no. They jumped out answering before.
You're
No, I'm
Cyberpunk.
100%. Yeah.
Ian
Cyberpunk.
Hink, are you as well?
Yeah.
Was this just the easiest call in the world?
Yes.
I mean, I love
Well, I
Doom.
feel bad. It's not like, yeah.
I
Doom
thought
looks
about
great.
it. I thought
Don't get
about
me
it for a
wrong.
little bit,
Yeah.
but
That's the desire index, the lesser of two evils. You know.
Yes.
It's,
yeah.
So that's where the Desire Index is right now. Number 1, Cyberpunk 2077. Number 2, Doom Eternal. Not a bad list.
Not a bad list.
Uh,
Just those two, you'll be very happy with.
It is now time for corrections. Ian, begin correction music, please. You play as Captain Price in the all gillied up mission in Modern Warfare. So there is, the first one. You do play as him for a little bit.
Cool.
Reason I picked that correction is because I think we all remember that mission. All gillied up. That's when you have the ghillie suits. You got all the.
I think that's the first time a lot of people heard of a ghillie suit.
Me included. It's like, oh, they do this. So snipers are so cool. Yeah.
That was cool.
Memorable mission, yeah. Crystal Chronicles Remaster was first shown at the pre-DGS PlayStation lineup tour, the one with the the spaceship that you were inside of with the DualShock controller.
Oh,
Y'all remember
right.
that? I forgot
I do
about
not.
that
I missed that.
entirely. Okay, there were not exactly 2 Detective Pikachu games in Japan. There was a downloadable version with 3 chapters that was later removed from the eShop and replaced with the fuller worldwide release with 9 chapters. This precedent, and the fact that they never explicitly said that the Switch was getting a new game, has led a lot of people to believe it might just be another extended version that now has the conclusion to the story. End corrections music, please.
Okay.
So we don't know what they were unclear, and the comments made it even less clear to me what Detective Pikachu on Switch is going to be. But it makes sense, right? That it didn't sell great on 3DS, so
Right.
why don't we
Put it on
use
the-
this huge Switch
Yeah.
audience to catch everybody up on this silly story? Lastly, I do have an update because Huber was confused about who published Twin Mirror last week from Don't Nod, and that actually changed within the last week. So Bandai Namco, who is going to publish it everywhere, is now simply doing it on consoles, PS4 and Xbox One. Meanwhile, guess who snatched up those PC publishing
Epic.
rights? Yes. So now they have a exclusivity window on the Epic Game Store, but on PC it will be just on the Epic Game Store. Snatching them up. So this is the E3 episode. What we did last year was top 5 headlines of E3. I want to talk about the top 1 headline of E3. Have a pretty decent discussion about that. I really want to dig into it. I think it is the story of E3 this year. And then, panel, I'm going to give you a list of games that were announced, and you get to choose which one you want to talk about. We only have time for 4. So each of you will pick one game that's like, oh, I really got to talk about that game and its announcement this E3. And I should also note to anyone confused, we are recording this before the Nintendo Direct. We don't know a thing about it. And this is all Damiani's fault.
I know. I can't talk about Breath of the Wild 2 right now.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Thank you, Damiani. Okay, so number 1 headline.
It's not quite accurate, but okay.
It's Damiani and Bloodworth. They both said, you can't stream on Tuesday night. That's our
You
time.
lump me into that.
Okay, and Jones, he's like, you can't.
I take great pleasure in telling you when you can do these guys'
Little
podcasts.
podcast. Okay,
I mean,
so,
it's so we could sleep.
it's not so you could sleep. It's so you could have your Tuesday nights to your own little hands.
Well, that too. The biggest night of the show.
After Nintendo.
Those impressions can be real good.
All right. Okay, so the number 1 biggest story of E3. I think you all know where I'm going. Leaks.
So many leaks.
And so, because here's the thing.
Sure.
Here's probably like, the biggest headline is Microsoft announces it's a next-gen console, right? But we knew everything about that. We knew it all. We knew Project Scarlet. And it's so weird. I mean, maybe this is where we start in. It's so weird to me. I think there's some intentional leaks out there that they embrace Project Scarlet. Like, hey, all those leaks, they were right.
Yeah.
It's Project Scarlet. And
Teraflops.
Did the
Yes.
leaks have both T's?
Yes, they did.
That's weird.
I had to type that. I had to type the both T's into the thing, and that's it, Blood. I think some of these might actually be controlled leaks. I think Microsoft.
I want to know. I want to know somebody that's worked behind the scenes.
Yes.
And can actually prove to me this controlled leak, because it's an easy thing to say, like, oh yeah, they just do this on purpose.
Yeah.
But like my brain doesn't want to buy that. Like it feels like, yeah, I get how that might work for some buzz, but it feels weirdly counterproductive.
So, I mean, here's the thing. If you've missed the podcast for a while, over the past few months, we've been talking about Codename Anaconda and Codename Lockhart. Anaconda, the big, beefy, powerful console. It's going to be stronger than the PlayStation 5. Why wouldn't they want that leaked, Blood? Why wouldn't they want that to be part of the conversation?
What confuses me is, to me, those leaks, like the main thing that you would want to do is not like get the word out there, because the word is being tarnished by, it's like you're not in control of it. I don't have all the information, and I'm wondering, like, is this even real? So it's like I'm intrigued, but I also don't even care. What I imagine the greatest advantage would be is we didn't make this official, but you're already talking about that, and so we want to hear what you have to talk about. And what are they going to change about Scarlet based on feedback? What are they? Oh, wait, no, sorry, AMD, let's get a new card in there. Like, what can they change? You know, like, so I don't know what they would learn from a leak that they could then, especially considering they did they get like, what's it called? Look at this white wall. What is it called? It's like, called Scarlet. And
Yeah,
at the
you
end,
saw
it's
the
like, yeah,
two
it's Scarlet.
T's. It's like, oh, it's Scarlet.
If they leaked it ahead, why would they put that in the video to cover the leak? I don't know. Yeah, it's
It's just weird to me, Jones, to like call it Project Scarlet. Like, why stick to that code name? Why even stick to that? We already know it. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
already out there.
Yeah, that's what I think is really weird too.
And to me, that's like a confirmation. That's like so they did the same thing with Scorpio. They're just embracing the leaks. They didn't have to say, "Hey, this is the thing. That all those other leaks that you have are all correct."
well, as opposed to what? Changing the code name?
Yeah. So, Jones, right now we know that Anaconda and Lockhart are real because the other things are real. Because we knew it was called Scarlet for so long, and the same people are saying Anaconda and Lockhart are true. By association,
Sure.
we know those other things are true. By the way, Ian Hink in the booth, making this
Hey.
all happen.
What's up?
Ian,
What's up, Ian?
I'm so sorry. I just realized, like, I did not introduce Ian.
It's been a long day.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm here.
You had it coming for blasting that music into my ears.
Yo,
Oh my god.
Wow.
It's so sassy right now.
Oh
I
my
could just
gosh.
mute your mic right now.
You've done it before.
But what's weird about that too is, yeah, again, you're saying that like they're basically confirming Project Scarlet,
Yes.
but they talked about their next console as the console.
Yes.
They didn't even hint at having multiple versions of that console.
They did not at all. They're only
Why
talking
not?
about the
If
big
they're
beef
gonna
board.
say that this thing is all real, why not say that the rest of it is real?
Because the last thing they said was this thing looks like it, or this thing could eat a monster for breakfast.
Yeah, that
Right.
Because you don't.
that does make sense to me.
What does?
Because they want to keep your whole idea of Scarlet is like the best.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because Phil kind of said that. He's like, hey, we already got the strongest console in the market now, and like it's just going to get even better, baby. And so that you'll at the very last minute, oh, by the way, if this seems scary to you, or if you don't have this in your budget, there's another version, and there you go.
I think it's fun to be part of the Xbox community. I think it's fun that they're always right, and it's just you feel like an insider. You feel like
Right.
you already knew all this stuff. You sit back in your chair, you're like, I know it. AMD, I know it. SSD, I know it. I know it. I know it. You know what I mean? Like none of that was news to us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Has Sony ever called a console by a project name? A code
Morpheus
name?
for the PSVR is
Yeah.
the only one I could think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nintendo, they had Revolution.
Dolphin.
Dolphin, they never.
Oh, was that
I
not
don't know
official?
that they ever said that like
They were cute about
in a
that.
press conference.
Ah.
Project Cafe, I don't know if they ever said it. Project Revolution, they did.
Definitely, yeah,
They
because they
did
even had
publicly say that.
had a sign on Hollywood Boulevard that said the revolution is around the corner.
Blood, you've never told me that before.
I didn't know that.
And so it said Nintendo, the Revolution.
No,
is around the corner?
it was just like plain like theater letters, like one of those theater signs,
Mm-hmm.
and it just said the revolution is around the corner, and it was like right when we were going into that press conference at
Wow.
what was like the Dolby Theater at the time.
And that's the one where we don't know it's called the Wii. You just know it's 2 DVD cases, and that it will have a virtual console.
Right. Yeah. That we didn't even know about the controllers at that point. I don't think it was just Virtual Console was kind of the main thing.
Yeah.
Ian said that next generation portable was the
do
Vita.
remember
I
that
knew
now.
that there was something
Yeah.
with
And
the
we were
Vita.
almost like they're probably going to call it the NGP at this point. We actually had gotten used to actually calling it that. Ian has a great memory for these types of things. So
When I'm reading chat.
I remember not being able to let
I
go
had
of
you
the
covered. I
PS4K.
had you covered.
I remember I was holding on to PS4K. I was like,
Yes.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
that Xbox name is gonna. I can't wait. I can't
Yeah,
wait
that's
for the
gonna be
real
a
Xbox
weirdo.
name.
Xbox Omega.
Do we think they will repeat? Will there be a version of what the Xbox Omega that just says Project Scarlet on it? Mm-hmm. Like they had for
Dude,
Scorpio.
these guys are addicted
Marketing.
to consoles and controllers.
Marketing.
Yes.
Every inside Xbox, they're hawking another one.
Yeah, I know they are. And new colors or new this or new that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally imagine there will be hardware with the word Project Scarlet on it.
Day
And I think that's
one
part of the whole
edition.
thing. I think it's part of like the fun part of the Xbox community
Yeah.
and like being in on the rumors. But on the other side, that hardware next gen announcement to me meant nothing. I don't feel like I've gained a thing from
Sure.
before E3
Yeah.
to after E3 to today.
We got a launch window.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
The
Which we
same
didn't
one
have.
we already knew. Holiday
okay.
2020. You know what I mean? Like it's
Sure,
it's exactly.
okay.
It's like okay, we knew that. We got it. You know what I mean? And like they didn't even like show it. They didn't really demonstrate what it would
teases.
look like.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, I think the implication, because
Of
they
Halo
said
Infinite?
Halo was, they're saying it was in engine.
Yeah.
So I think the implication that it was running on that
Yeah,
hardware.
New hardware.
And then I would call that one of the least impressive next gen tech demos of all time.
Sure.
Right? Didn't that look like something we could absolutely do right now?
No,
Yeah.
but I think there's just a certain amount to when you're just looking at like Metal and Master Chief and like just
That's
the
what I mean, right.
the environment doesn't really
They should
play
have
to
been
those
like
strengths.
on the Halo ring,
Yeah,
showing
show
the
water,
environment.
show
Yeah.
particle effects.
Yeah.
If it's a next gen demo, right? Like I
Yeah.
just don't feel like that's the best way to reveal next gen. To their credit, the reveal of next gen for the PlayStation 4 was knack.
Right.
That was the first time we ever got to see like, oh, next gen is here, knack. So
Right. And we're seeing Spider-Man for the PlayStation.
true. Yeah, we're seeing it in
Knack,
old game.
dude.
Yeah. So there were good ways to do it and bad ways to do it. But yeah, exactly, Blood. I don't feel excited about Scarlet yet, and I'm wondering if the panels are with me on that.
Sure, it's a little far off for me to get
Sure.
like really excited, and
Fair
I guess
enough,
the
yeah.
details right now are still like kind of knew that. I guess
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I think we're in this position where we don't know anything other than some vague power specs and the loading time thing that both companies are talking about, and the emphasis on the cloud, which is just kind of a companion thing. It's not even really like it has nothing to do with the
Right.
console itself.
Yep.
So yeah, the stuff to get excited about really it doesn't feel like it's there yet. Like when they can show us, the advantage of load times being gone. That's not just we don't have a loading screen to sit through. Then I think that that could be impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jones, was there any point of announcing it right now?
Launches with Halo.
Yeah.
That was a cool announcement.
Was that a cool announcement? I told you that 3 weeks ago.
Launch launch lineups are rarely like thrilling. It's the tech is fun.
Yes.
But I think that was an interesting commitment to make so early, because that would be very dangerous to back out of. Ooh, sorry.
Right.
Got to delay Infinite, but it's coming soon. You'll get a voucher.
Yeah. It'd be like the Xbox One X launching with no new games.
And it just felt like
Yep.
was that? I mean, that's like a new console in
Right,
quotes.
right,
I mean, like
right.
the
Yeah.
new console same gen.
This is
but,
a huger deal. Absolutely.
yeah, that just seemed really in line with just Xbox like wanting to make their community happy, wanting their community to get excited about these products in a way that feels new, but also like just old.
They want to give you something
As
to
old
look
as
forward
Xbox
to
can be.
Yeah.
on the horizon.
I felt nothing new is the thing.
Sure.
Right.
They presented it exact same way they
Just
presented
being
Project
cagey.
Scorpio. Yeah, that's what really killed me. It's like you
Yeah.
just copy and pasted your old presentation.
Yeah.
I'm curious if these presentations we see later this week are going to be any more interesting.
Tell us a little bit about that, Bloodworth. You got some appointments?
I've got an appointment. I don't know anything more.
What's
than
it called? What's your appointment called?
It's the future of Xbox.
You're like, that's cool, dude. That's sick. Yeah.
But is this your expectations, Kyle, or is this what you think Xbox was promising at their press conference? Or our expectations?
They promised a sneak peek. They gave us a lot more than a sneak peek. Right, the maximum the minimum they could have done is like wink and say, look forward to next year we might have a next gen console. You know what I mean? Like it could have been much less.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to make a splash, if you want to impress people, if you want to leave an impression, you have to do way more than
They're
that.
just giving us crumbs right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're
And
stale crumbs.
I also got the vibe too when the press conference started,
Still
and this is just not the console like our hype level, literally just the conference itself.
Yeah.
When Phil said in the beginning and near the end, we'll give you a look. That seemed like he was kind of playing it down. I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, that's probably just going to be a video and a mention, and then that's it.
And I think it was Blood who pointed out, like, it said Project xCloud still. It's like, oh, okay, so xCloud's still a project
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. Blood, I imagine that's actually what you're about to see for future of Xbox. I bet your appointment
I
is
mean, it could
xCloud.
be either or both or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I actually played a little bit of Project xCloud today.
Oh, you want to tell us a little bit about the future of Xbox?
Yeah, so they had at the showcase they had basically what you saw on the stage where they had like the phone like jacked into an Xbox controller.
Okay, yes.
And-
It's like a clip on top of the
Yeah.
controller. Yeah.
And so I think they had like 4 demos. The one that opened up first because it was like swarmed by like cameramen and stuff. Was Hellblade, and I'm like, this is like the worst thing. Like, and it was like the worst part of the game where there's like no combat or anything. It was like one of those crazy puzzle sections, and it was like,
Okay.
like this is not helping me. I don't know. I can't like swing at anything right now. I can't judge the latency by this. But then I saw the guy next to me was playing like Halo Master Chief Collection or something. So I grabbed that and I started playing that for a bit. And from the way I could tell that like it felt just as responsive as you would expect. I didn't feel any kind of lag or anything. Of course, it's a controlled environment.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not easy to set up a little wireless router in the middle of the E3 show floor. Oh, I guess
Sure,
you're in
but is your
Microsoft,
server like right behind that router?
Most
you know,
likely,
like
yes.
are you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
putting an Xbox into the network and
So the info is traveling 3 feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's possible. You're right. It is a closed environment, but yeah, I think they didn't even commit hard to making xCloud exciting. They kind of said like, hey, it's going to be an alpha in this year, so like look forward to the future of Xbox. In general, though, I still want to talk about leaks. I think this is an E3 of leaks. I think that maybe it's an E3 of leaks because there wasn't that much to be new in the first place. You know what I mean? Even if the leaks weren't leaked, I think that we had a kind of unexciting E3. And so to have the little that were removed, it's kind of like, oh, okay. That's the E3 like we all knew it was going to be, right? Of course, prior to Nintendo. Thanks, Damiani. So yeah, I kind of want to talk about that. I want to talk about, Roller Champions, Elden Rings.
Yeah.
Ring, right?
Just one ring.
It's just the one ring
To rule them all.
Yeah, I want to talk about like how we would be talking about those things today if those weren't leaked ahead of time. If
Oh,
those
I
weren't
think the thing with
headlines.
Elden Ring that's strange is the George R.R. Martin just randomly starting to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think it was like just primed for leaking the rest because,
That's what started
people
it.
are going to start looking.
Yep.
People are going to look everywhere until they find it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, Blood. I was thinking because I think that some news sites are just stuck in a position where they have to be first because they know someone else will do it.
Yeah.
And so they knew, okay, we actually know what this is. George R. R. Martin hinted at it, but we know exactly what that is we're publishing.
Print it.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's...
No, I thought that stuff came out from somebody data mining, stuff being uploaded to a Bandai Namco website.
that was the more recent link, like the logo and title.
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
That was just from
yeah.
hacking the site. I shouldn't use the word hacking, but investigating the site. Prior to that, we had known major details about the game from a whole different source that was waiting until some other confirmation happened. And then when George R. R. Martin said, I was in Japan working on a video game, they're like, okay, here's everything. Because I think their hand was forced. I kind of think they're just, I don't know, such a weird thing where I think that leaks are so inevitable. You can't fight, I don't know how to fight a thing like that. And so I wonder if this is something you have to find a new creative way to counteract or not. Or if it's not a big deal. If these are all isolated incidents, Bandai Namco leaked a different way than, Roller Champions leaked in a different way than, the Xbox leaked in a different way.
Right.
Well, it seems like every year we're finding news, laptops open on subways,
Yes,
USB left in strip clubs. There's, all sorts of fun ways that we can find out about things.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Yes.
Kyle, fake leaks, man.
Fake leaks?
You give them fake leaks.
And then people stop trusting those sources. Yeah, fake leaks are a thing, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ian.
Well, I was just gonna say leaking isn't about news or it's just self-aggrandizement. It makes the leaker feel cool, and they get the clicks, and that's all that it's about.
Yeah.
They just want the traffic so that their site can get ad revenue, and that's all it is. And it's just kind of a bummer that people want to be cool instead of letting people reveal stuff in a way that's cool for everybody. It's a real drag.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to touch on, Ian, is I think that leaking something is a rush. I bet it feels very good to some people.
Devolver had a really great tweet the night before their press conference. They were like, I just want to leak something to feel the rush.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's great. I hate leaks, but that's funny.
Yeah. I kind of think that's, I don't even know if it's to feel good. It's just to feel ooh, you know what I mean? It's just to me, that's what the leaker does after they just click. They just get so innerly aroused.
Right, totally.
That is what I imagine. That's the only way I can justify these things.
I imagine more like Jabba the Hutt, just ooh. And all the salacious is on his shoulder.
Yeah, I bet some people feel like if they have the info, they should be the one to tell. It's our responsibility. If some journalists have the info, to put the information out there.
I think some people feel that way too, right?
Yeah.
It's not only
Yeah.
just people on Twitter who just found a thing. Sometimes it is legitimate news sites who are
Sure.
just, here's
I just
what's
wonder
up.
Some
where
people
that.
think it's news.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe that is one way to combat it. It sucks because you're planning the show and you don't want to take it out of a press conference. You want to come back to it. But I wonder if one way to combat it that would seem like playing along with, with the trolls of people leaking this stuff is once that initial info comes out, just do it. Just announce it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you kind of see that sometimes. You see stuff get
Yeah.
rushed ahead, maybe they have 24 hours to react and get everybody prepared.
Didn't
Crazy
you-
for the marketing teams.
Ubisoft did
Yeah.
on
Yes.
Watch Dogs, right?
Original Watch Dogs?
No, the Legion this week. Didn't they confirmed
they
the
did.
name?
They confirmed the
and
title,
put a
Did they?
logo.
Yeah.
they
I didn't
did.
know that, Blood. That's
The official
interesting.
Watch Dogs Twitter account tweeted out Watch Dogs Legion.
That's cool.
And yeah, stay tuned later.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're okay, we got to roll with it. Let's go.
I
Let's go.
think with Ubisoft, they've got it all. They've got the whole backup plan at this point.
They've been there.
Yeah.
In their
No
marketing
one
plans.
knows more than Ubisoft.
Yeah.
It's you rushed their hand, but you don't own it. After that day, when we're still talking about that, we're not talking about you. We're not saying, oh, but that first sight. We'll kind of forget at that point because, whoa.
Right.
Look
And
at
it's
that Elden Ring trailer. So cool.
Yeah.
and it's I think particularly something like Watch Dogs, yeah, they put out okay, yeah, it's almost like owning it at that point. They put out they confirmed everything that was leaked, and then they're like, okay, stay tuned for more. Because what didn't get leaked was that huge swath of gameplay.
Yes.
You know?
Helen.
Yeah.
Yes, and Helen.
Hell, thank God.
Helen was huge.
Yes.
Whereas I think I mean, and that's where the strength of doing an actual demo comes in. Because if all you've got is an Elden Ring CG trailer where you see a couple of creepy hands, then that's it. Like, they've stolen your whole show because you didn't have anything else to back it up.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you say a solution is never just count on the announcement of your game being exciting.
Right. Don't just have the Metroid Prime 4 logo.
Yes.
Right.
Blood, I agree with you. I think that's a great policy for marketing.
Which is why the stuff that really, like, because when these mistakes happen, it's just like, oh man, there's so many cooks in the kitchen. It's
Yes.
just, yeah, like you're saying, it's inevitable. Like somebody's gonna goof. It's when the videos come out. It's like, all right, that is a major screw up. That Harry Potter thing, like. Somebody fouled so unbelievably hard that you demoed this for people. Like, hey, come in this random room at this mall and check out this Harry Potter game. And I'm just going to leave the laptop here and just let people check that out.
Sure.
Because now everyone, like, you know, E3's over. Like, all the press conferences are done. I doubt it's going to show up at Nintendo. And everyone's like, WB, where was that Harry Potter game? It's
Oh,
not
they
their
are.
fault.
Yes.
Like, they might not have had
Right.
plans at all to announce it until 2020. But it seems like they're screwing up somehow.
Yes.
And that bleeding edge gameplay is like, oh, that was so rough.
Yeah.
Because you can feel it on this desk, all watching it like, yeah, this is the video I saw.
And slightly better quality. Like, it was low quality when it leaked.
Oh, they had
That's
a
the
big
bummer.
word over
Yes.
it. And yeah.
And it was this exact same trailer just without the word on it. Yeah, bummer.
I think actually at the end of the day, I think Bleeding Edge got hit the most.
You think so?
Like, oh man. Like,
Worse than Elden Ring?
yeah, because are you less excited about Elden Ring,
Hell
Brad?
no.
Are you kidding me?
Fair point. And
It
we're
ruined
not,
that moment, though. Like, kind of like to what Blood was saying, From Software basically does, like, Metroid Prime 4 logo kind of plus. Because, like, Sekiro was just, like, that weird, mysterious arm. And it's just, like, be curious. And Bloodborne was, like, that really short teaser trailer that got leaked, Project Beast, you know? And then this was not much. And the only information contained within it was already leaked. So it's, like, all the excitement, like, seeing Miyazaki and Martin names next to each other, you know, that's when you, like, pass out.
and the way it's
moment.
edited too, because the trailer
Right.
starts with a pounding of
Right.
just like a ping ping, somebody's crafting of some weapon or something, and then the names appear on the pings.
And we were robbed.
yeah. That moment had no air.
Because for
Like,
Bleeding Edge,
because
also
they
people.
got to hit their line of Coke or whatever, their leak of Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get
But like, no one's upset that Miyazaki and Gurm are joining forces. That's really exciting.
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
no one's upset of the style. No one's upset by that music. But like, when Bleeding Edge, you know, first got announced, people were like, Ninja Theory, what? You're making a multiplayer game? What's going on?
Oh, yeah,
And
that
then
sucks.
that's it. That's Bleeding Edge. Is let's be mad at them because they're making a multiplayer game and not a single player thing. And look at these characters. And then like later they showed again. People were like, I've already made up my mind about this game. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that sucks so bad because it's like you want to see this fun. You want to see Ninja Theory. Okay, wait, these characters are what? There's a lot to process right now. And then, oh, it's multiplayer. Okay. And it's like, nope. You know, cat's out of the bag. You've already locked in your opinions.
So, I have a controversial solution here
Oh.
too. Don't wait for E3.
Cancel E3.
You know what I mean? When you have a thing, don't wait for E3. Like, you're just sitting on the secret that's like more likely to get exposed the more
Yeah.
days that go by.
Do the Square Enix Avengers tweet. Tune in.
Yeah.
We're gonna show Avengers at that conference.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what, because I don't think you want to, like, preempt your trailer unless it somehow gets out there.
And then yeah, if you're I saw the video and Cap dies in the video, you're like, oh, shut up, he's probably lying. And then oh, look, he was telling the truth. You know, it's like that's everyone else's opinions kind of get lost in that initial exciting announcement.
So, like, listing of Roller Champions, a game I don't think would have been exciting no matter what, whether it leaked or not. But like,
Right.
just as an example,
Not with that trailer, yeah.
yeah, I think they should have put out a trailer that day when like Roller Champions leaked.
I agree.
And so that they could show gameplay here at E3.
Yeah, it
They're
should have
like,
been a
Hey,
multiplayer
you all know
match."
what Roller Champions is? We revealed it a couple of months ago. Well, a month ago. Here's gameplay of
Yeah.
Roller Champions.
Yeah.
Would have had a way better impression.
Yeah.
The problem is when you get into things about, like, trying to combat leaks.
Yeah.
You get into situations like, not going to say any specifics, but you get into situations where it's stuff like Game of Thrones or Marvel or whatever, like these long-running things where they're watching people's, like, fan theories and then changing the show or whatever to combat it. Not saying, I don't know if that's what they did, but, like, that kind of stuff. So then
I
it's
think
like,
Lost did that.
yeah, probably. But like, if the trailer got leaked, right, and then they were like, okay, let's throw together a multiplayer thing for the show so that it's something new, like, but it got leaked 4 days ahead of time, you know, it wouldn't, like, it couldn't maybe be very good.
Yeah, and
You
I
know?
mean, like, the CG trailer probably wasn't ready back then. The trailer
Right,
they showed, the
right.
gameplay trailer probably wasn't even ready back then. So it's rude of me to say, just let it go.
course, yeah.
Right.
But I mean, like, just like Ian, I'm just feeling like those leaks are inevitable. They're gonna get worse and worse as we become like more informational.
I wonder, because like what they did do for stuff like Game of Thrones and Endgame or whatever is they made a bunch of fake stuff, like fake endings that they didn't tell Tom Holland anything because they knew he couldn't keep his mouth shut, you know.
Yeah.
And like, an actor from Game of Thrones thought the real ending was one of the fake endings, you know, like stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know, like, but I mean, how do you do that with just like this thing exists? But
So
yeah.
maybe with Cyberpunk, just to be safe, I would put feelers out there of like other actors that are just as unlikely as Keanu Reeves.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would just like put a bunch of those out there. So like Keanu Reeves would die amongst all the other ridiculous names that are like, this guy's
Sure.
definitely in.
So that
Cyberpunk.
actually leaked.
I guess it did. I guess
Okay.
somebody had said, yes, Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk 2077. And like nobody believed that.
I'm so glad I didn't hear
Absurdity
that.
helps.
Right.
I have a leg.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, because
like
it
the
does
big
just
moment.
feel like that one. It feels like just some weird like
Yeah, I just feel
fanfic.
like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Excellent joke. Let's move on. No, it's real.
Something else, Kyle. Like, no one seemed to like change what I think they were going to say initially. Like that trailer is still definitely like, you know, Miyazaki joins with,
Oh, yeah.
who's it gonna be?
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin. You're like, oh, okay. And like when they came out for Bleeding Edge, like there wasn't any indication that like you might know all this already. And I remember, was it Street Fighter V that got leaked right before PSX?
Yes.
And I remember actually totally forgetting his name. The guy who came out of PSX to talk about Street Fighter. The Street Fighter.
Yoshinori
Right.
Ono?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I remember he came out and like seemed pissed.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, you might already know this, but hey, let's show the trailer. And like,
It was the same trailer, yeah.
I want, you know, like it seems it's a bummer to have that attitude, but like I don't know. Every now and then I'd like to see a publisher come out and be like, roll trailer, walk off, and you're like, ooh.
Oh, that's not a way to present your game.
I
though,
know,
Jones.
but I don't know, or at least say something to be like the elephant in the room.
Like a
You know, it's like
shirt
I'm a.
that says F leakers or something like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
You know, like they came out and talked about Bleeding Edge, like we had no idea what they were about to show.
Right.
And
I
it's
definitely
interesting
think
that nobody changed their messaging.
Yeah.
I can't think of specific right now, but I definitely think there've been times in recent E3s where that has happened and people have acknowledged that.
I remember someone joking about it. I don't remember
Yeah.
who it was, but they were like, they said basically what you said. They were like, well, it may not come as a big surprise. You know, they like made the joke. That I think is a better way to handle it than being like sad or
Yeah,
mad
being
about
bitter or annoyed or angry is never gonna play well.
Well, just address it, because then that's weird to me. The person who leaked it that's at home, it's like, yeah, suck it, and it's like, what? Why are you mad? Like, why are you
Yeah.
a fan but trying to destroy the marketing? And it's just this weird.
Oh yeah, maybe
know.
Mario Rabbids. They addressed it,
Sure, but then they went off too.
and
Yeah.
Bethesda with Canada Walmart and now, yeah.
Yeah, they were embracing that as well. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. I just think it's going to happen more and more.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. Next year there will be more, like especially
Yeah.
with
Oh
my-
next-gen
yes.
stuff. Like,
It's
yeah.
funny because I feel like, and maybe this is partly due to not having the Sony conference this year, but I feel like a lot of the past E3s, we've been at this point right before E3 where it's like, man, like everything's been announced, everything's been leaked, and it's not really true. That's when
Yes.
once we get through all the press conferences, it's like, no, dude, all this stuff that we didn't know was coming, it was there.
Yeah.
And this year it's kind of like, well, no, most of it actually did kind of get leaked.
Yeah, I think that might be the nature of this year. Yeah, because Roller Champions wasn't going to be a doorbuster either way. And yeah, Elden Ring was always just going to be that one simple trailer. So I don't know if we would have been hot on it afterward. But yeah.
I would be interested to see if anyone has ever done, or maybe we could do some kind of qualitative study or what have you, but look at the data. I would be interested because I posit that it's the same companies each year have more leaks than like Ubisoft and From Software like leak everything always. Like it seems
Right.
like everything leaks.
You're
And-
from? Heck yeah.
From is like everything. Bandai Namco, yeah, like everything gets leaked from like certain companies. It's just like they can't. And I was talking with, I can't remember who it was, one of the other allies, but we were talking about like certain companies that have to use outside vendors and like foreign vendors and have to interface with other companies, whereas Nintendo never leaks that much, or comparatively doesn't leak as much. And that's because they do so much stuff like in-house, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And also like things like, you don't see a lot of Naughty Dog leaks to my current remembrance, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Rockstar's bulletproof.
Rockstar, like,
You know?
Oh, The Last of Us came out of nowhere. That
and
was
it's
so
just
fun.
like, there's got to be something, like the more people you let in, like I wonder if we could see which companies are doing it, figure out what it is they all have in common, and then combat that from that angle.
Yeah, like exactly where
Rockstar
the
had a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 leaks.
The map.
Yeah, we had the whole map.
Oh,
of
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Blood.
no, but I mean that's actually kind of what's kind of weird to me in a way is like it's like what aspect, and maybe we just don't know like where the leak is actually coming from within the company, because Ubisoft, like their PR team is internal. Like everything I work with people at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
You know, very rarely do I ever work with some outside company. Nintendo, they've got an outside company that does most of their press-facing PR. Like they've got internal PR as well.
They
but
got it locked down.
yeah,
But I think it's kind of as Jones said, it's just like it's always a different way, right? We've never seen marketing slides like we did for Rabbids. That was just crazy.
Yeah.
That was unique.
Like exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because I wonder
another
if
way-
that helped them.
I kind of did, maybe. Go ahead, Jones.
Another way I think we can combat this too, and this is just what I find really frustrating, is that like I feel like the majority of the news media is like loot boxes are gambling. This is a horrible thing that's happening to people. We need to get rid of this. Crunch is a bad thing. This is affecting developers, and we need to combat this.
Yeah.
Some of these companies like a Riot do not have equality. We need to combat this. But leaks are like, what are you gonna do? You know? What are you gonna do? It just happens.
I don't know how to combat it though, Jones.
It's just we just gotta leak it now. What are you gonna do? It's like nothing. Okay, I guess nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
not
like-
even have a conversation about it being kind of frustrating, and
So, like,
it's
think of
like the marketing division. Screw those guys. It's like what?
So, like, think about this podcast right here, right? Like, I talked about all those leaks. You know what I mean? Like, I covered them. I chose, like, we are going to talk about these things. Like, I made that conscious decision. Part of me feels like it's, like, dumb to be like, what do you think Ubisoft's going to have when everybody
Sure.
knows? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of my frame of mind on it, Jones. Is like, I feel like I have to cover these things.
Yeah, there is a difference though between. I read this report. It said ABC. And that's interesting. What do we think about that? We'll wait for more information.
Yeah.
There's another thing between, ABC came out. Well, I know D, E, F, G, H. Stop. It's
Gotcha.
well, I know all this other stuff that they didn't talk about because I don't know. I want you to click on my story instead of somebody else's.
right. Because basically they've already known, they've already had their sources, and now like basically now that it's coming from somewhere else, then their source is off the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing when people see leaks and they're like, wow, something must have happened. And it's like someone just didn't care. That's all that happened. Like every time there's a leak, someone got that information and it happened to hit the person that didn't care.
Yeah.
But that's not the only person who has that information. Like there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, consultants, like trailer houses, like different companies that are brought in at some point to see this stuff. And they actually like respect their, colleagues
Yeah.
and like don't leak it. And so it's not like a crack that it slipped through. It's a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect like over the next 12 months for them to be very, very serious about secrecy, especially with the next console launches and everything with that. But yeah, they'll always find new ways, I think.
Sure.
Yep. You all hear that? No. Oh, it sounds like his podcast. Halftime!
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of June. Uniqlo. Uniqlo is a Japanese fashion brand aiming to change the world through the power of clothing. With a focus on high quality and innovative textiles, Uniqlo is redefining everyday clothing by increasing the functionality of your wardrobe at an affordable price. They call it Lifewear Made for All. Visit uniqlo.com/EasyA to check out their collections, including new and upcoming graphic t-shirt collaborations with Nintendo, Star Wars, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, and many more. That's uniqlo.com/EasyA. Fangamer. makers of officially licensed merchandise for games like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley, Undertale, Katamari Damacy, and Persona 5. Not to mention, Easy Allies t-shirts. Their newest products include the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition for Switch, PS4, and PC, a Prince and Katamari magnetic plush, and a Sans hoodie from Undertale. Check out their store at fangamer.com. Lynn Aslin, a software engineer searching for opportunities to learn and grow. He has over a year of industry experience programming in C++, C#, and Python. As a graduate of the University of Connecticut's Master Program for Computer Science and Engineering, Lynn has explored the fields of cloud computing, computational geometry, and more. If you're looking for an ally to join your team, visit his website, Lynn Aslin, for his resume, sample works, and contact details. Again, that's LYNNASSELIN.com. You can also find him streaming Near Automata at twitch.tv/shoutout to Yoko Taro.
Shit, yeah.
Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Our gifted sponsor this month is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. L. Thanis. Hoag Law Business Law Firm. In this time of celebration, there's no need to push our professional legal services, top-notch business counsel, or unexpectedly popular YouTube channel. No, that would be crass. Instead, at the end of this long day, we'd simply like to offer our congratulations to Brandon, Kyle, Bloodworth, Huber, Damiani, Don, Ian, Brad, and Ben. What tremendous strides you've made in so short a time. We can't wait to see what comes next. Have a great E3, gentlemen. And our E3 sponsor, Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. And our mega sponsor, Heroic Replicas. The fine folks at Heroic Replicas design and fabricate true-to-form, high-quality replicas and props. From legendary gear to keepsakes or all-metal creations, Heroic Replicas can make something special for you. Are you looking for the perfect custom gift? Heroic Replicas specializes in attention to detail and realistic materials. They're accepting commissions for late 2019 and early 2020. You can view their portfolio or drop them a line by visiting their website at heroicreplicas.com. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you.
Okay, it is time. It is time for each of you to pick a game that you would like to talk about. Ian, you are included in this, so I'm going to run down a list
Nice.
of games that were announced, and also I put Final Fantasy VII Remake on it because I just did. Okay, here we go. Flight Simulator was announced.
Cool.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Bleeding Edge.
Wait, sorry. You're listing them all and we're picking one?
Pick one of this list.
Oh, okay. But we get to hear the whole list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Deathloop. Minecraft Dungeons. Gods and Monsters. Blair Witch. Watch Dogs Legion. I'm going to count it as announced, Blood. Didn't know that was tweeted ahead of time. Marvel's Avengers, also counting. Final Fantasy VII Remake. What'd you like to talk about, panel?
You don't have Elden Ring on there?
Do you want to talk about Elden Ring?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, let's do it, dude. All right.
Because those things were announced like toward E3.
Yes.
You know, like that was
Yes.
definitely an E3.
All right, Brad, let's
thing.
talk about Elden Ring.
Dude, open world, true open world from software game.
Yeah.
With George R. R. Martin like creating the mythos for it.
But here's the thing, Brad. I know very little. I know we get to slap an arm onto our shoulder.
Horse. I don't know if that's you.
You don't think that?
I don't know if that's you. That's usually like enemies in the game.
Okay.
Usually. That could be a boss.
To
Or
me,
a character.
That's like a hint at a gameplay
Like, it
mechanic,
could
maybe,
be.
but yes, we get some sense of style,
Yeah.
some sense of weight from the E3 trailer, some sense of character design. It's just so good.
Yeah.
I didn't see a single like thing that's like ew bad.
Correct.
It's all like
I mean, it's all kind of ew, but
in a good way.
Yeah,
like
so
there's
it's
a bunch of
intentional.
weird, crazy arms.
yes. It's
great.
It looks artistically interesting,
Yeah.
which is the best thing you could say for it, right? Like, it's
I
just-
mean, one of the best developers in the business right now, collaborating with one of like the most famous writers.
yeah. Here's a question actually that I need to ask this panel as someone who is very unfamiliar with the works of George R. R. Martin. What makes him special?
Lengthy descriptions of trees and breasts.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
You want 4K nipple descriptions?
Heck yeah.
You want to go to George R. R. Martin. Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire book series is the most I've ever felt reading fantasy where I'm like, I am there. Like I'm in this room right now. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm kind of following along. It's like, I know what song they're singing. I know what bread they're eating. I know like all of the characters that are in this world. Just a depth that is just astounding. It's why the latest book has taken him like a century.
Yeah.
Because it's just, these are extremely dense narratives that you get a lot. I mean, like even more so than I knew at the time. Like people have pointed out like, oh, that little side reference, that was a huge thing. And like, wow, like I love to listen to those audiobooks. I thought I had it all figured out, even after like listening to Miguel Lopez and Jeremy Hoffman, these guys talk about it before I had read it, and then still discovering new stuff, new secrets.
Yeah, but at the same time, Jones, I think that the underlying story there has to be something because that series has become a very successful television series as well, without all those descriptions, without making you feel like you're in that room.
But you still feel when they talk about other houses and stuff, when you see something kind of mentioned in the past, like there are some characters they throw out at the end of season 8 that you saw that you're like, oh yeah, that guy. It's just a lot of that. Like characters don't vanish from his world. Like they might step aside from the narrative, but they're still in this world. They are still set up. This is a world that had families that came before those families and before those families and before those families.
Yeah.
And it's not particularly Tolkien, because I think Tolkien really, likes to. I think the huge difference is races. Like in Song of Ice and Fire, it's all humans, and so it's interesting to see him really getting into the supernatural stuff, even though it was like very prevalent in the later seasons of Game of Thrones. It's like very subdued in those books. A lot of the people in that world don't believe this stuff.
Wow.
And so it's interesting to see him going full Souls, with just big monsters and magic. And,
like their last game was Sekiro, which is very like you are this specific character.
Yes.
All about combat, all of that stuff. And this one's like you're back to creating your own character. It's much more like build variety. He's really stressing. I read an interview like stressing the RPG side of this game.
Nice. I didn't know he's doing interviews about this project.
I saw it on like Xbox or something.
That's great. That's really good.
And so to me, that's exciting.
That's
and it seems like a fun marriage because when I think of one thing that's really great about the Song of Ice and Fire books, if you're done with the Game of Thrones series and you're like, that kind of sucks, especially like near the end, what's really fun about reading those books is all of the chapters come from a different perspective. And so what he loves to do a lot is he'll switch to another character. That character will meet a character but they don't. And so they won't regard them as anything. And as a reader, you're like, yeah, like I caught on what happened there.
Gotcha.
And like that's the communication I get from all of you guys when you talk about the Souls games that I haven't played, is like you'll see a note that seems like nothing and like, oh no, that's a big deal actually.
Yeah.
That revealed a thing. And so these two minds coming together seems like a pretty good fit for that type of storytelling.
Yeah, when we did talk about the leak, we said there's no reason to be scared. There still is no reason to be scared. That is going to be an excellent video game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Daniel Bloodworth, what's your pick, man?
I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna almost cheat a little bit.
He's doing double duty right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bleeding Edge. I played earlier today.
Your pick is Bleeding Edge?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
You can talk about any game. You're picking Bleeding Edge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Says Bloodworth.
Bloodworth,
Must be
great. Okay, so tell me, you watched the trailer before playing the game, right?
Sure.
Tell me your gut reaction to the trailer before we talk about this demo.
I guess my gut reaction is that these characters look kind of weird and
Kinda.
yeah, I just want to know more. But I mean,
Sure.
that's the thing. Like, I feel like their character designs have always been like a bit on like exaggerating defects and like just people kind of get bloated or
Enslaved, that guy had strange proportions for sure.
Yeah, like humps and lesions and like all kinds of crazy things. Yeah.
Sure.
Gross stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The demons did.
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk in with those impressions of just weird characters. You booked for the demo. You have to play this. And then how does it feel?
It feels good. It feels like a game where teamwork is incredibly stressed. Like the whole thing is about teamwork and these different classes working together.
So is it strictly 4v4 brawler? Is that
Yeah.
basically the entire
Well,
thing?
at least what we've seen
Sure.
at the show is a 4v4 control points
Okay.
matches, and so there's kind of like your quick attackers, and then you've got your support classes like your healers, and then you've got your heavies. And I think somewhere around the range of like 10 characters or so.
At least in that trailer, yeah. Heck,
Yeah.
there's a lot of characters.
Yeah, so there's this witch with like a balloon over her head.
And it's a little witch hat, yeah.
Yeah. There's this big guy with cyborg arms. There's this girl that looks like what's her name in Heavenly Sword. There's a samurai who can kind of go into like a cloaking mode.
Yeah, what is her
I forgot her
name?
name.
Wow,
Yeah,
you're pulling
yeah,
from
it's
2006
Nariko or
right
something
now.
like that.
Something
I
with
think
an
it is
N.
Nariko, dude. I
Yeah.
think you nailed it on your first try.
Chat will let us know.
Yeah.
There's like a guy. He doesn't really look like a scarecrow, but his hat kind of made me feel like he was a scarecrow. But he's got like twin machetes. One of the weirdest ones. It's like it looks like a guy with a snake wrapped around him. But
Great.
then when you look at the face, it's almost like the snake is the character and he's controlling this corpse. I don't really get what this character's all
That
about.
sounds highly interesting.
It's
Chad.
crazy
cool.
looking.
Yes.
And
It's a kind of game where I feel like the concept artists like turned in their drawings and it's like more.
yeah.
You're like, really? Like more.
The first guy in the tutorial, because they have you go through like kind of a movement tutorial and stuff. He's like a rock star, but his axe is an axe. So he's like a guitar that like he's whacks people with.
Yep.
Everyone's got and then the one that I actually played with, it's like a big biker woman.
Yes.
And so she's riding around on a big wheel.
Her whole bottom half is a wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so every one of them has like a fast movement speed.
Cool.
So most of them have hoverboards, but
That's
she
interesting.
actually like goes down and like puts a second wheel down and like rides around like a motorcycle.
Yeah. Belly down.
Yeah.
Bloodworth, I have to know, you have this entire character select screen, why you chose the motorcycle woman.
I think the thing that really appealed to me the most and what actually worked out for me the most, just playstyle wise, is she's got like the scorpion harpoon. So if somebody's like getting low on health and they're just, all right, I'm going to get out of this fight, it's like, nah, grab them, pull them back in,
over here.
finish them off.
Great.
Felt really good.
Roadhog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same kind of thing.
Pudge,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and so abilities like that are on a cooldown. Your main attack's just the X button. You just kind of mash X, and then you can like do a jump attack. So it's like I'd say the majority of characters are melee focused, but then they do
yeah.
have ones like the witch that shoot instead. There's
think I
also
saw
like a
some guns.
cyborg girl that shoots instead.
Yeah.
So when you jump with that, you're just jumping and shooting.
Cool.
But then around the maps, they've got like these jump pads to go to higher levels. They've got little health stations.
What kind of environments are we in?
The funny thing was I was really looking at it very mechanically, so I wasn't like putting a lot of attention into like what this space really looked
It
like.
was meant to be.
It
Yeah,
just
I've
felt
been
like
there before,
it just felt like what it like whatever like hallways and graffiti or whatever.
Blood, you smiled when you told us about your scorpion kills. Like, did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have a
Kinda
good
s- I
time.
get an
It's
impression,
pick, baby.
Yeah, it's your pick.
I did feel like, even though it was like complete strangers, like we were working together as a team. Of course, we did have like a Ninja Theory coach,
Yeah.
like kind of watching our backs, and
As
like,
is
hey,
usual,
you guys,
yeah.
what, nobody's over at A. Why don't one of you go over to A, kind of thing.
Nice, yeah.
And like making sure that the healer like remembered that they were a healer and that kind of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I dig what I played. It was one match. There's like I said, there's multiple abilities on cooldown. And there's like you get like your big special, which and that's one of the things.
Man, this thing is Overwatch.
With your special, like you get to pick between different ones when you pick your character.
That's cool.
They have multiple specials.
How many? Like 2? Like Street Fighter?
They had 2 at the moment. Yeah.
Cool.
So they look like, I mean, they vary depending on what kind of class they are, but it looked like a lot of them, there's some that were just like bigger area of effect attacks, and then others that were more like buffs.
I'm sorry,
There's a lot of buffing and debuffing in
Was
this
yours
too.
the chain, or that was just a regular cooldown special?
That's just a regular.
So what was your ultimate?
The ultimate was that I picked was called Burnout, and so basically just takes that wheel and just starts, peeling out. It's into whoever's in the range is gonna get under that wheel. Yeah.
Fun.
Blood, it is so fun to imagine you having a blast playing this game, dude. And I'm really glad you brought it, because we trashed on it for the first half of this podcast.
Sure.
And that you played it and had a good time. Like, means something to me. That's E3. That's E3's magic right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Brandon
Sweet.
Jones,
Yes.
You're ready with your pick.
Totally, 100%.
What do you got?
Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, Jones.
Watch Dogs.
Yes. Why are you picking? Watch Dogs is such a tired franchise. What could they possibly?
Not anymore.
It's 2 entries.
Yeah.
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 They had one game that was like, that's neat, a fun mechanic, and then another one where it's like, wow, they really turned this around. And this latest, like, and the reason why I'm picking it is because everything that I've seen so far in all the press conferences is just like neat, cool. Oh, that looks cool. And Legion's like, one more time?
Yes.
And like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Like, I don't believe you. Like, that's insane. Like, that seems. Either this game is just completely breaking the rules of how you do open world games, or there's something we don't know, you know, and that's why I can't. At the end of the day today, it's like I have not reconciled this game in my brain.
So somebody missed E3. What do you tell them is different about Watch Dogs Legion?
There is no central protagonist. If they are, they're masked, you know. And I'm actually curious with the introduction, having just played the introduction to Watch Dogs 2. I'm curious like how you're introduced to this game.
I think it's your AI buddy.
If
man.
that's random, if you kind of get to pick, if you just like maybe scan an environment and be like, yeah, I'll start with that guy.
Yeah.
As you know, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, my second favorite Assassin's Creed game. Love the idea of just finding someone in the environment, recruiting them, bringing them back out, and even just kind of like having them on the side of my gameplay in there, and they pop out, wave, and then take off. Like this idea that not only are they gonna, be characters you can pull from the environment, not only are they gonna have their own unique specializations, you can level them up, and they have their own stories. Like.
Yes. It sounded like loyalty missions. It sounded like Mass Effect loyalty missions almost. It's crazy.
I definitely felt like what they showed was guided. Like I'd be very surprised if that actual sequence of events. There seemed a lot of things that just like were happenstance that like I think were emblematic of like what they want the experience to play like. And I rarely fault developers for doing that at E3 to kind of be like here's the idea, especially if it's running an engine, but just to the depths of this thing. And it's gorgeous, the depths of this are just completely blowing my mind.
Of London. London looks great.
I was a little nervous because I remember like the first Watch Dogs came out. Was it the first Watch Dogs where what was the game where the guy said he got beat up when he was rioting somewhere? What was that? That was David Cage. That was a different game. But I remember like the first Watch Dogs when it got announced was like whoa, so serious. They were like security, everybody. Yeah. And then like this guy's daughter died and all, and we're like, okay, this is neat tech, but like so serious. And like he started talking about Brexit, and I was like, oh no, hopefully I don't go down that road of just being like, yeah, I understand it's relevant, and like you picked an interesting, city to base the story on, considering what was going on in 2019. But I'm glad that it, once Helen came in, like, here we go, okay, this is what we should focus on.
This is rare that I defend David Cage, but it actually wasn't him. It was a guy from Sucker Punch. Who was humiliated?
Oh yeah, infamous. That's right.
Nate Fox.
Son.
Yeah. So he went underground, but Nate Fox is back with Ghost of Tsushima. He's back in the spotlight.
Right.
He's lived through that moment. Jones, that's a really good pick, man. I was personally extremely impressed by how they showed this game at E3 this year.
Yeah. And again, that's the other thing is it's not just this crazy concept that they dropped. It's not a sheet of paper that I can read later. It's what I saw, you know, and it's fun for me and not frustrating to kind of piece together. Like, I think that was showmanship, and I think that was the game right there. Some parts of the HUD that I think they didn't show to it. Like some magic stuff happened whenever you saw that line connect to a device, and it's like, well, clearly a HUD's going to pop up with the options of what you want to do to it, but. It was just clean, and I like that they started with it. Nobody came out and talked about it beforehand. They're just London,
Yeah.
Especially given like maybe they felt some pressure to announce it beforehand, and so just like to start the whole show with it.
Yeah, it seemed like there was nothing condescending. I got a weird example. This might be insane, but I liked that when our first character that we're playing as dies, the word permadeath appears.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that phrase means nothing to a casual human. Well, I mean, I think you can kind of infer what permadeath means, honestly. But, that is just like a neat phrase that we all understand completely what just happened there. And it's like, okay, we're all on the same page here. Permadeath, that guy's gone.
And lay to rest is an option when they revisited his icon in the menu.
Yeah.
Like, what? I guess to finally give up on him, could consider him disqualified, off the team. And I'm like, do they?
I wonder if
have a
there's anything
ceremony?
where
Like what? Will they ever mention him?
Do you go to before that? Do you go to his house and recover gear or something? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, it's weird that they had permadeath and then lay to rest. So I wonder if they cut something out there, or there was something that they took out for this demo.
Sure.
Maybe if someone's bleeding out on the road, you can switch to one of your other characters, and if you can get there, you can save that person or something.
Maybe they're monetizing revives.
Ooh.
Stop.
Oh,
No.
jeez.
Yeah,
Stop.
okay.
It's
Not
There's,
five for
that's
like
great.
300 Ubi coins or something?
stop it.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Okay, all right. Ian, what's your pick? What do you got?
Blip blop.
Sorry?
Blip blop.
Blip Blop.
Game of the show.
You missed Blip Blop.
I did miss Blip Blop, so what is Blip Blop?
It's a phone game that Jones is probably like level 800 on.
Yeah,
no,
man.
of the ones you
Shout it out.
of the one you listed, I would probably say Ghostwire Tokyo.
Hell yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ian, because actually I missed this. I just watched the trailer with no volume on, and like what is this? What is Ghostwire Tokyo?
Good question. It's like a freaky, like the the rapture has happened or something. Like people are disappearing. There are ghosty poos. You got a bow that you shoot the ghosts with in the street, and the animations of the crowds are the greatest thing I've ever seen in a video game.
This was all CG.
Well, I suppose if it, I guess if it's CG, that's less impressive. But like at the first couple of shots, we were like, "Is this live action or is this? Oh, okay, it's CG." So I mean, I don't know if it's a next gen game and it just looks like that. That would be super. The character animations were very good.
Who's making this game? What is
Yeah.
this?
That's what's his name?
Shinji Mikami.
Mikami, yeah, from
Tango Gameworks.
Tango
Resident Evil
Gameworks,
fame.
Resident Evil,
Yes.
and the one
Vanquish.
that Evil Within.
Yep.
He is simply producing. I'd have to look up the name of the director. Who was
he's not directing it?
Sorry?
He's not directing it?
No.
No, that was the other person that came out.
She worked on.
She worked on Bayonetta
She
and
was like
Okami.
Yeah.
Well, still cool.
But primarily helped out a lot with.
Ukumi Nakamura.
Thank you.
Wait,
Yes.
is that was the amazing lady who came out just going, yay!
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
stoked.
She was the best.
Because it looks like a horror game. It looks scary.
Oh, yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Yeah, this game was amazing looking.
I think she was like an understudy under Evil Within. So like at
Yep.
Tango Gameworks, she's learning a lot.
Probably.
From Kamiya, and then like eventually it's just like, okay, you're ready to do your own thing. She's like, yes, here it is, and it sounds like impressions are pretty positive. I mean, it is just a CG trailer.
Yeah.
Blood, you got notes?
Yeah. Just the quote that he said was, "Don't fear the unknown, attack it."
Ooh.
And they also before they play the trailer, they're talking about conspiracies and the occult, and so yeah, there's some interesting things to dig into there that I think we don't tend to get out of a lot of the Resident Evils and even Evil Within. Like Evil Within, like it's got its conspiracies, but a lot of it is more just like focused on that central character and the psychological stuff.
I think it's a good philosophy. Like if you at home see anything that like makes you uncomfortable that you're not familiar with, you should attack it. You should like kill that thing.
So if you see a weird shadow.
I'm informed that she was the character designer for Evil Within too.
Oh.
Way cool.
Oh,
There's something
okay.
really chilling about empty
Character
streets.
design, creature design.
You know,
Yeah.
all the lights on in Tokyo and just
Yeah.
the streets are empty. And I like the idea too that like I don't think we saw the protagonist's face. Like the protagonist also is kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's
He has a hood on.
yeah.
Yes.
So I just imagine lots of scenes of you trying to save someone and they're like, who, you know, kind of like Batman, like, wow, like
Yeah,
what's,
man.
who's this?
There's some
And you're like,
darkness in
no,
us
no,
for
no,
sure.
like
Yeah.
don't be afraid of me.
Also, just it was such a well-made trailer. It didn't lean so heavily on style like the Evil Within 2 trailer did, but these
Yeah.
guys make good trailers. Like there was some cool formal edits in this. Dude with the mask, and then like chopsticks come down, and you're looking into a bowl of noodles.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
that was cool. Yeah.
it's fantastic. Yeah.
Just to be very clear, I was being very sarcastic. I think attacking the unknown, don't fear the unknown, attack it, is like the most foolish catchphrase I've ever heard in my life.
Great catchphrase for a video game wherein, you know, there are all kinds of ghosty poos and you have to deal with them. But yeah, bad life advice.
Yeah. Man,
That's a
like,
message to you, Kyle, to not be a scaredy cat and play it.
don't attack. Just
They
assess
want
situations
they
before
want
you
you to
attack
play
them.
it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Also, Deathloop looks dope.
Deathloop was
yeah, Deathloop. I
on
think,
the short list.
Yeah, we can't again. Like we got a CG trailer. You know, it's a bummer we don't have
Yeah.
too much to talk about it. Yeah, but Bethesda showed off. Arcane, we're working on that, right?
And
Yes.
shout out to Spiritfarer. and like the 50 other cool looking indie games that we've
from the
seen
Xbox
over the
conference,
last couple of
yes.
days.
There's more than 50.
Oh,
Yeah,
Xbox,
so
PC gaming,
many.
and kind of funny. Like,
Yeah, we saw some excellent
stuff.
game reveals, but I told the panel,
Between
they're doing one each.
all three of those, there's got to be 100 indie games that we've seen in the
Yeah.
past 2 days, right?
Hard to process,
For sure,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Skatebird.
Yep. Skatebird. Yeah, people had sent me Skatebird trailers before. It was not where it was today. Skatebird
Damn.
is coming along.
Yeah,
baby.
dude.
Yeah.
And it's still a Kickstarter right now. Apparently.
Yeah. Hey, really? Like you can
Yeah.
give money to Skatebird
Let me check.
right now?
Let me check where they're at.
Okay. In the meantime, it's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
We got some, you know what we got a lot of really nice like E3 comments that are just like, hey, I really love E3 because of you guys and like I spent it
Oh,
with my family.
thank you.
Really nice things. I gotta go for these juicy nasty ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
goodness.
All right. It's got a $20,000 goal and it's right now at $7,148 for Skatebird.
And it looks like it's not even going for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a game in which you are a regular-sized bird skateboarding around on like a little tech deck, a tiny little
Hell
skateboard,
yeah.
just around in an actual-sized house. Just wanted to say that Bethesda's audience made me stop watching. It felt slimy, sleazy, and not genuine to me at all. And on top, and to top it all off, Todd Howard's unapologetic turd-eating grin
Whoa.
finally got me to be hard out in the first 10 minutes. I'd rather Bethesda just done away with the audience and go for the direct model. Love and respect, Proto-J.
Turd eating grin.
The anger, but holding back on the profanity.
Yes.
I mean, Bethesda 1 billion% should do directs.
So I wonder about this Bethesda audience, which is ridiculous. I believe they have fans who love them that much. Is that crazy?
What's the company that does QuakeCon? They're never going to do a direct. Like, well, I mean, don't quote me on that, but
Sure.
like, I just did. That seems to be against what their vibe. They love getting their community excited about things. Who's excited for Doom?
I
Huh?
don't think
Like, a lot of that.
I don't think it's the community. I don't think the people that are in the seats that are getting picked up on those microphones are the fans. I think they're the people that are in the teams that are making
Yeah,
those games.
there was like a guy though. That was what's weird when it's like
Sure.
that's the thing about Xbox. Like there's always like when Phil comes out like and it's like oh okay like
Nobody told people to do the X symbol that looked so cool.
yeah there were
Those
two
just
dudes that stood up yeah
those are just
when
fans.
Phil was in the aisle, but specifically there was like one guy like
Yeah.
during Bethesda that just
I don't.
wouldn't stop.
I
And
don't
so it's
think
weird
that
like
it's-
having that one guy on the team. It's like okay Bill sit down.
Yeah, I don't think that those would be employees because that's so stupid. They're like destroying their own goodwill.
Yeah.
What exists?
Do they know?
left
I
of
don't
it.
know,
Well, yeah.
psychologically though, like it makes sense. Like you get a little bit of cheer. Crowd spread, right?
Yeah.
It's really hard for
Yeah.
half of a crowd to like have no reaction when they hear the applause and laughter from the other half of the crowd.
Well, I mean, Jones can probably speak to this too, but like I've done plays and live shows with bands and stuff, and like sometimes you do the same show for a different audience, and like you're doing the same amount of quality, and one crowd is dead silent and
Yeah.
the other one is rowdy as hell, and
Yeah.
there doesn't seem to be a reason. And
Yeah.
maybe Bethesda's giving them booze, I don't know, but like
They are, yeah. That's
Yeah, that's what
confirmed.
I thought.
yeah, so I think Bethesda just they must have a hype person like hyping up the crowd too or something because like they want that crazy energy.
Yeah.
And like I've had you have crowds like that sometimes they're just bonkers.
It seems a bit much for E3.
It's too much for E3. Well, and it's just slow
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
bad.
Yeah, it's like hitting every red light. You're like, oh
Right.
god,
Yeah.
again at the intersection. Like, come on.
yeah,
but
there's
it's
some
like
of the things that they would.
sentence too with these guys. It's like
Yeah.
someone would be like, "Hey, here I am at E3. Woo!
Yeah.
We're here to announce Ghostwire. Woo!" It's like you don't even know what that is yet. I could make that title in Photoshop in 30 seconds.
It was like that. It was like, and now we're here to announce Osiris, and just a
Yeah.
burst of applause. You don't know what Osiris is?
Yeah, you don't even know what that is. That's
It's
the
just a
AI that
name.
kills us all.
Yeah,
We're going to talk
Yeah.
about Fallout 76.
Yeah. Wait, was there applause for Fallout
Oh, I
76
think
suspension?
people
Yeah,
cheer.
yeah,
when they
yeah.
cheer, when they put NPCs in the game.
Oh man.
They're like, yeah!
It's just I do with Bethesda. I know their games sell bonkers. Skyrim just ridiculous.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't even fathom how well that game sold. Like Fallout 76, despite being everything it is, sold extremely well. Fallout 3 and 4. For some reason, I don't believe in a Bethesda fan base as much as I do like a Blizzard fan base. It seems more natural to me when like BlizzCon's happening and people are dressing up. They're just thousands of people who love Blizzard games so much, that brand, right?
Yeah.
They love that Blizzard
people
brand.
love some of Bethesda's brands.
Yeah, I mean,
like
Skyrim
Fallout
is
and
nuts.
Elder Scrolls, people love those.
Do they though?
You saw the
Yes.
videos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people love.
They do.
Yes,
I guess, man.
absolutely.
All
Also,
right.
like, it is possible that Woo Guy was trolling and hates Bethesda.
I'm not willing to rule that out either.
Yeah, I don't.
Woo.
I
I
don't
think it's way
I-
more possible that guy had like 5 drinks.
I don't think there's anyone that is in there that hates Bethesda unless they're
No, I don't
working
think so
there.
either.
Sure. Yeah.
They're working.
Yeah, God damn it.
So like, if I'm
Some
Bethesda
security
right
guard or something.
now, I love that. I'd love that people are cheering at every stupid thing that I say. Like, there's no way I'm going to do a video because I love that people are associating applause with my
Feed me
announcements.
The energy.
Yeah, right? Like, there's no incentive for them to stop this nonsense, right?
Right. Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to make
Till
them
they get
stop.
booed.
Yes, until they get booed. So I think for the next E3 next year, you can absolutely expect Bethesda to again have a live audience in front of their press conference.
Yep.
Yep.
So, boom if you want to direct.
Come to LA, take their free drinks, and boo
Boo
away.
them all away.
Please do not do that. If I'm responsible for that, no. This is an interesting question. Hey, allies. Who is utilizing E3 the best? Which companies should rethink their approach to E3? Love and respect, John of the future.
Nintendo.
Is utilizing it the best?
Yes.
Why do you
think,
say that?
I think so.
Because they do a direct, it's controlled, it's fast, it's cheaper, and then they have a banging booth with a lot of
do have
demos,
banging
and
booths.
really it runs like clockwork, that booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better get an appointment.
And if you're press, you get an appointment. Can you get an appointment otherwise?
I think like online
I mean-
you could.
Okay.
But it's
What
Wait,
is it called? Warp Pipe?
Yeah,
What is
Warp
it
Pipe.
called?
Yeah, they have the warp pipe. Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing that PlayStation has done at their events.
It's like a Disney Pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's an online sign up for people with gamer passes and stuff. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, if you're
Yeah, and Treehouse is good too.
if you're business or media, then yeah, you would make an appointment with them at the desk.
Yeah, also a great thing to bring up. The Treehouse just runs all day long and
Yeah,
just
it's
gives
cool.
people in-depth looks as like they can't be at E3. You can absorb as much as you possibly could playing this demo on the floor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that they are missing by not having a press conference is they're just missing that opportunity to bring somebody out on the stage.
Yes.
You know, which is why, you know, it's like the past 2 years, you know, Miyamoto showing up at Ubisoft was so funny because like, yeah, you can't do this. Like Nintendo can't just bring out Miyamoto and have him, you know, just stand there and get applause
But
because
they've cut
they're
to
not doing
other guests on videos before.
Yeah, but it's again, I think it's that lizard brain associating applause with
Sure,
a person
sure.
and a game announcement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Humans just get attracted to that. We love that stupid noise, and like no matter what, we just have a better feeling about it if you hear applause combined with it in a weird way.
But the championships, you know, that was a live event. That was where you know they're really putting a lot of effort and money into.
You are all selling me that Nintendo's doing the best at E3.
I'm way in agreement.
Wow.
Yeah, they kill it every year.
Who needs to do better? Who needs to rethink their strategy?
EA, come on.
No, I think EA improved upon last year.
EA Play?
Yes. I think they improved
Have you-
upon
have
what
you
they did
been
last
EA
year.
Play?
Never been to EA Play.
EA Play is bad.
Tell me what it's
dude.
actually like to be there because
No one knows what the hell's going on.
Okay.
No, like me and Brandon, like, where'd we go? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you just walk that way. Like, there was a press room, and they kicked everyone out of it. It's like, we got to do a meeting.
I
here.
got a press email from EA, and they said we would like to invite you to EA Play, and I said great. Easy Allies would like to send Brandon Jones and Brad Ellis, and they were like great. Brad got a media badge, and I got a guest badge. We were like,
That's
what?
right, baby.
I went up to one entrance and was like, hey, and he boop skied me in, and I walked in, and then Brad's like, cool, I want to go in. They're like, no, you can't go in. Like, what? We did
'Cause
not
he was
talk to
media?
two different contacts. It was
Yeah.
literally just the same person.
Actually, we did. I don't know
For
why
EA?
you got a
well,
different
I mean,
contact.
As far as Star
but
Wars
you did.
Jedi, man, I talked to like
Yes.
20 different people.
Yeah.
I signed up for like 20 different Star Wars things.
Got it.
I ended up going to one and then realized that I was signed up for like that again 4 more times. So it was like, all right, I won't go to like the rest
The
of them.
guest
But
badge is better than the media badge?
it wasn't better. It just got me into a different thing.
There was a different entrance.
It's a different entrance, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the room where they were all playing Madden and stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
some big like.
Oh, well, you don't want
And
to
like
go in
I
there.
went. And I went like at the entrance, at like the register entrance, at like the desk where it's like, welcome to EA Play, how can I help you? I was
Yeah.
like, cool. I think I have some kind of theater appointment for Star Wars Jedi Order, which was the giant theater where they were showing Jedi Fallen Order. And the front desk was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, I have an appointment at 10:30 and 11. I think it's for the same thing, but it's for the presentation of Jedi Fallen Order. And they were like,
I love hearing you two vent.
okay.
Let me
my
tell you about
gosh.
my
Give me more.
experience. So
Give me more.
we saw Star Wars. We had like
So you went to the theater. You got
yeah,
to
we
sit
did
down
that.
and check
Then-
it out.
no, there's no theater. All that was outside.
Oh,
EA
got
Play
it.
was like outside,
But yeah.
no cover, sun beating down
but,
on
like,
everybody.
When we saw Star Wars, it was in a room.
Oh right, yeah. But
Okay. But anyways,
the first thing we saw
yeah.
EA Play, their live stream. Was all
After
outside.
Star Wars, we had like an
it.
hour to kill or something like that. And there's a coffee shop right across the street. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go get coffee real quick.
Oh no.
Go out.
No.
Humongous line, okay? Like they
Sure.
let us to like a press entrance. They have the gate shut. They're not letting anyone else in. Maximum capacity.
So you have coffee in your hand.
Oh yeah, I slurped it.
Yeah. So you
But
walk back in and
Then
it's
I
shut
asked
down.
the lady, I'm like, hey, could I get in? Like, she goes, yeah, hold on, but we're at maximum capacity. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can wait like a second. She's like, okay. Then she's like, I don't know if I can get back in. She's like, I don't know how to get back in. Then she was asking like security. Security was a third party. Then eventually they went in, like people were trying to get in. It was like people trying to get in, like getting trapped behind somewhere, and like a horde of zombies coming, like let us in, kind of thing like that.
How'd you end up getting in?
Then,
What happened?
then like people were trying to get in. They're like, no. Then some guy asked about press, and he goes, you got a badge, you can get in. I was like, I have a badge. Can I come in? He's like, yeah, you can come in. I was like, finally, guy.
Whoa, dude.
And the sun is just beating down out there. There's like
Yeah.
no shade or anything. These poor people waiting out there for
There's
hours.
like one picnic table with an umbrella. The umbrella's not opened. You know, it's just like tied
I
up.
was just
I'm
like,
like,
oh man.
I'm thinking about sitting over there. They have these like EA like umbrella hats. That's like mocking this people.
Yeah,
You're
do
like,
not
here,
wear that,
you
yeah.
want shade? Put this stupid thing on your head.
Wow.
Just like, oh, like it's
And it's
cool.
just a weird. Like I watched some trailer after the show of like Joseph Fares and all these indie people talking about like they didn't have a lot to show, but they were like
Yeah.
they're like we're still doing this. EA Originals is still a thing, like not featured in the press conference, like
Well, they didn't have a press conference.
or not featured in their live stream.
Yeah.
You know, The
Yeah, it's-
Sims was, but
This is like the Fire Festival of E3.
and it yeah.
Do we
it's-
know for sure that it wasn't in anywhere in those live streams? Because
I mean, I saw the schedule. Yeah, it was like
I know it
Yeah.
wasn't on the schedule. I'm just wondering because they had buffer space where
Okay.
they had kind of did countdown clocks to the next thing. So I just wonder if like instead of a countdown clock, they did that.
maybe.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't on the schedule. It's like people couldn't seek it out. You know what I mean? They
Right.
couldn't seek out that moment. That
It just
man,
it kind of like hit my inbox in like a weird part of the day in the middle of EA Play.
Oh,
yeah.
they had a media room. This is so great. They had a media room in the Champagne Lounge.
Oh yeah.
And we go in, no AC. Everyone's just on chairs that are like lined up around the room, just like hot, like and like we had like an hour to that's when you
Yeah.
went to go get a coffee, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit. I was so tired. I'm like,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, I'm just gonna sit down and
They
just like
didn't
look
have
at stuff on
any
my
coffee
phone.
No.
Some dude randomly walks in the media room
unusual.
and he's like, yeah, I gotta ask everybody to leave. We're gonna have a meeting in here. And I was like, does this guy even work for EA? I don't know. He doesn't have a badge on. He's not wearing like some EA shirt. Like
IGN for sure.
yeah. Like, who knows? When I left one appointment, I had Star Wars immediately after that, and the guy that grabbed me he was like, Brandon? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, you got the Star Wars appointment. I'm like, I was just in another
Yeah, we were
appointment
in
that
an
I had
appointment.
scheduled that you should know. Like, you should have a list of everything I'm doing. Like, you should be able to, if I'm, I'm looking for this person, what are they doing? And then just have like a central person. Because when I walked by, I could see like Star Wars on the wall, and I'm like, I think this is where the interviews are going to happen, but I don't know. Because I don't, who would I talk to? It's just journalists everywhere. I don't see anybody.
They didn't
Like
know
from
where
EA.
our Star Wars interview was going to be for
Yeah.
a bit.
Wow.
The thing I got
And they were
lucky-
great. Like the people from Respawn were fantastic.
I believe
like
that,
when we
yeah.
talked
Yeah,
to them, it's just
exactly.
the organizing the
Right.
entire thing.
Yeah.
And it.
Then
One
you-
final thing. We can
Okay.
talk about.
Sure. No, the thing I got lucky with when we were there last year, and we had similar issues just trying to wander around. It's like I at least have dealt with these people enough years to where I can look for somebody that I recognize.
They didn't have
Sure.
Bloodworth.
Yeah.
and like,
Sure.
all right, what's going on? Tell me what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jones, your last thing.
It is screw you distance from downtown LA. Like it is just far enough to be like, why even go to E3? You're on Sunset Boulevard. Like okay,
Yeah.
like it's. You're telling me nowhere in downtown LA. You look at that city and you're like, I don't know. None of these hotels. No, we got to rent this this theater with this giant parking lot that we're gonna build our own structures
Which
on.
can't be cheap.
Which is like a $15 Uber away from downtown LA, and
Yeah.
it's just like that on top of paying to get in and all that to play like 4 games. I mean obviously now they have like 7 or 8 games available, but
You simply played Star Wars. That was the only thing you
I
wanted
didn't play
to see
Star
from
Wars.
them.
Yeah, we didn't play Star
I
Wars.
interviewed and did Star Wars and had one other interview that we'll talk about later. But
Ooh.
yeah.
Under embargo?
Yes.
Unannounced title?
No.
Oh, okay.
Stop asking questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, hey, that's
Too
my
many
job.
questions.
That's my job here.
That's not.
But that's why I have respect for Sony just being like, we're out. We're gonna do a state of play. Death Stranding is gonna have its own thing, but they're not gonna be like, we're gonna have our own E3. And like,
Yeah.
oh, come on. Even Microsoft being like, we're gonna be in this theater. Like, okay, at least it's across the street.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah,
At least like
but
all
no,
of
no,
that
no.
area is
That
kind
I will
of
say
partying.
is a
but-
pain in the butt.
Ooh, all right. I
Mike-
want someone- I
Microsoft-
want
Yeah,
the blood now.
well, you know.
It's just logistics, right? But like the Microsoft Theater is like pretty much just like right across the street from the convention center.
Yeah.
But the way they've set everything up, there's like these huge fences that like block off the street and
Yes,
then
you
block
do have
off
to walk
most
around a
of the
bunch.
plaza. So you like
Yes.
you've got to go out to the street, go back through this like narrow, now crowded corridor to get to the Microsoft Theater. And so yeah, it's a huge pain in the butt.
A huge pain in the butt. So, to those companies, rethink it. Nintendo, you're
I mean,
doing
Microsoft
fine.
is going to stay in that theater.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
EA
and once
plays
you're there, it
coming
is
back.
actually great. Like
it
once you get in the doors.
Oh, it's a cool experience when you're
Yeah,
inside.
they've got
nice and cool. AC.
They've got AC. They've
coffee.
got plenty of. I'm not sure about coffee. They might.
okay.
They might have coffee somewhere, but not. They didn't have it today. But they've got all their stations set up. They actually one thing they did different with the showcase this year, which like at first I was annoyed by, but once I got in there, I like really appreciated. Is in past years the showcase would just be boom this one block at time. And everybody went to the showcase. And so you've been to the showcase before. It was crazy crowded, and you didn't get to do the things you needed to do.
Sure.
This time, they've broken it up. There were like multiple showcases. So there was one right after the press conference yesterday. There were like 2 media times today, and then I guess there was like some other influencer times like later in the evening.
Yeah, I went to that one.
So it was totally spread out. So that I got to play Gears twice.
Yeah.
So that the second time I actually knew what the crap I was doing.
I was watching your capture of Forza Horizon 4 as well. Like, that was cool. The Lego stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. Like, it's cool that you got you went to that event and got capture of those games. It looks good.
And then when I go back later this week for the behind closed doors appointments, like all of that stuff is just like they've got nice big spaces, to have those demos in the quiet. So yeah, the way of it set up is great. It's just the fact that it's so detached from the rest of the convention center. You've got to go through security both ways. That's a pain in the butt.
Not as convenient as it sounds, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know for certain that E3 will continue to change. I know there's no way next E3 will be the same as this year's E3. I just can't say in which ways.
Sure.
I have no idea. But yeah, it'll absolutely change. Nintendo, keep doing what you're doing. Time for bets. Next week's bet, at this point, next week, actually it'll be a point and a day. It'll be Tuesday next week. How many different villagers will we have seen in the new Animal Crossing game? And sorry, I don't mean villagers. I mean animal creatures. How many animal characters will be seen? So, sorry, villagers don't count. Humans, no. We're talking specifically animal creatures. Tom Nook counts. That is one. Presumably, we see him in the new Animal Crossing.
But you're talking about trailers, right?
No, I'm talking about all of like the Nintendo
All of
Treehouse
Treehouse,
stuff.
all
Yes.
of
Oh, I thought you were talking about
goodness.
the trailer.
No, if you want to change your bet now,
Yeah,
sorry,
I
I did
do.
clear. Even you, Ian,
I
if you want to change
think
your
I'm
bet
gonna
now.
stick with my bet. I
That
think
was
my
my-
bet is
I-
okay
I
either
thought
way.
you meant everywhere.
But yeah.
So.
All right, Jonesy.
20.
Daniel Bloodworth.
140.
Oh my god.
Have fun counting
I thought I
those.
had the high one.
Have fun.
25.
I have 24. Ian Hink,
How's this happen?
46.
46. I think we just got locked out of that one, Jones. Let me lock that in.
Yeah. Could win it though. If it's literally just Nook being like, it's called this.
Yeah.
Move
We didn't
along.
have a
Oh, they could show
lockdown.
nothing. Oh, that'd be so
I just
funny,
remember.
dude.
Do you remember the Wii U had that little like Plaza app where like they just all grouped
Yeah.
up together? That's what I'm thinking. Like they're just
yeah.
gonna
The last
zoom
shot of
out
the trailer, is all of them waving like, damn.
Everybody.
Yeah. By the way, please help me. I'm asking for your help.
No,
on this
you gotta
one.
count
on
those,
Twitter.
you
Please
sucker.
help me. Please let me know. Last week's bet. Ooh, we're actually, Ian, we're gonna have to do this live, baby. Last week's bet was about which game's E3 trailer would have the most views. So, Jones, you bet Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I don't know if it's called the E3 trailer, so I'm thinking we're gonna have to go with the reveal trailer for that.
Oh dear, they haven't had a new one, have they? Yeah, it wasn't at Xbox.
You
Oh,
swore. You told me it'd be at Xbox. You
I
promised.
did.
That's true.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Uh,
I was very, 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 very
So
wrong.
so the trailer that we thought we were betting on does not exist.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does
wait,
say
Call of Duty does
it does
not
say
have an
which
E3
game's
trailer.
E3 trailer. I think
Yeah.
we have to null and void that
Disqualified.
one. Yeah. So then it's Ben Bet Final Fantasy VII Remake, which just debuted tonight.
Okay, we're just gonna look together. All right, I'm gonna look at these one at a time.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
All right. So Ian is right now in YouTube at Square Enix. Oh yeah, just refresh that.
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Have they not uploaded it yet?
hang on.
I'm sure they have.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be in there.
I wonder if PlayStation uploaded it.
There was a PlayStation tweet.
Yeah, Ian, go to just type in PlayStation.
Kotaku, GameSpot.
PlayStation?
Yeah, I bet the PlayStation channel uploaded it.
Weird.
I don't know. I mean, it might still be buried in that video list that you were looking at.
It would have been up near the top though.
Yeah.
No, they put everything up like right on top of each other.
And you can search Final Fantasy
you go.
VII on
There's
Square
Yeah,
Enix.
3 hours
PlayStation
in.
uploaded that trailer, man.
Yeah, it's right there.
They want those views.
Yeah,
Okay,
3
so that's
hours.
3 hours ago.
121.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, the next one is Huber Bet Resident Evil 3. Okay, so
They put Tifa right on
Huber.
that thumbnail. Did you see that?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I did. I know.
Doom Eternal. So it's really between those two: Final Fantasy VII Remake and Doom Eternal.
That'd
E3
be-
trailer.
Probably be on Bethesda.
That would definitely be on
Yeah,
Bethesda.
you need to be
It's just-
Bethesda.
So we're going to Bethesda's YouTube channel.
Oh, our internet's being
By the way,
weird.
we talked about it jokingly. Don had a bet that Sony would crash the party at this year's E3. Huber and I were kind of talking like Sony got a lot out of that Square Enix press conference.
Story trailer.
I mean, the one with the most views.
The one day ago.
552.
Yeah.
Dude, nice.
I mean, like both of them work.
Oh, there's
Dude.
battle mode.
Battle mode, story trailer.
Story trailers.
So
Five-
story
over
trailer right now is
500K.
at 552.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know those are all natural views because Fallout 76 was just boosted last
Right.
year. That's why I went
Commander Keen's got
with
100K.
Bethesda.
So
Commander
yeah,
Keen's got
121.
wait. You know what I mean? Commander
Yeah.
Keen means something to a
Battle
lot of
mode has
people.
the same number as Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Battle mode.
Sorry, Commander Keen.
But like
Yeah.
Sony showed it big. Sony like has whatever dumb Avengers lockdown. You know what I mean? Like we have exclusive content with the
Yeah.
PlayStation. What? We won't even tell you what it is, but be excited for the content.
Yeah.
It's like that is just deals. That is a check that was signed.
Yep.
That means nothing to us as humans.
Yep.
Man. Obviously, we'll look forward to the beta, right? But like brutal. Okay, so boop, 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 boop. Oh, I just won that bet. However, we have to talk about last week's bet. The week before last week's bet.
Well, hang on a minute.
That's 93, baby.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the one from the concert.
That's the
doesn't count.
concert.
Oops.
Yeah. This is what got Jones disqualified. Is we have to use the E3 trailer,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
and so it has to have the E3 in
Why
the
did
name.
PlayStation get to upload that?
The
Deals.
marketing deal.
Oh,
Straight
yeah.
up
Deals.
Marketing
Weird.
deals. Yeah. That's why I said like they got to crash the party. Like they got to have that huge game associated with them, despite not even showing.
Does
up
that
to E3.
count
Sorry, does that count as what?
as them crashing the party?
I kind of think it does, Ian.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
They got so much marketing
They
tonight.
didn't show up though.
Yeah, of course. They did not show up.
Like if Sean Layden busted in somewhere, then I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
needed to
Yeah, they
crash
gotta
the
come
party.
in like the. Oh man,
Fair enough. I would make a case. All right.
what's that juice? The big pitcher guy that busts through a wall.
Kool-Aid
Yeah,
Man.
Kool-Aid. They gotta come in like the Kool-Aid man.
Ian, I was just thinking about the Kool-Aid Man,
Yeah.
I swear.
Just a positive energy. A big thing that couldn't possibly exist that has the craziest energy.
Made of glass, yet jumps through brick.
Okay, so the Death Stranding thing. All sorts of controversies around this. First of all, let's knock this one out. Skeleton Warriors definitely in the second Death Stranding trailer. You could see there are skeleton warriors.
Yeah.
There was debate about Die Hardman.
Uh-huh, I saw that.
Oh yeah.
So like he's interesting. His jaw moves. And so I didn't think that's like a mask that comes off. I actually thought that was his face. You know what I mean? Like I don't think at any point he'll remove it and say, this is actually who I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of think that's just like protective surface. I didn't like count that as a mask.
Is this still bets?
What's up?
Yeah, this is
Oh
last
yeah,
week's
we're
bet.
still in beds.
Oh, okay.
Blurry photo I looked at again. I couldn't count it. However, I went to the wiki, Jones. That president, her name's Bridget. She's a whole separate character, dude.
Okay.
So that means we got Bridget, Mama, Hartman, Die Hardman, and Higgs. That's 5.
So that is not Lindsay Wagner, the actress.
Right.
That is a whole different actress.
Right.
Yeah, I
It
guess
just
so.
happens to look a lot like Lindsay Wagner.
I guess so.
Crazy.
But in that other thing, they announced Lindsay Wagner.
Then why wasn't she in that when they did
she's
the whole
only
cast?
character who doesn't get an actor attached to her.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Or no, a credit.
Here's the
I mean,
thing. though.
someone played her.
That wasn't the last thing I did on the wiki. I clicked on Die Hardman, and it turns out that concept art of this character
Yeah.
was revealed at TGS years prior.
I saw that.
So, unfortunately, that does mean that Damiani won that bet. So we're gonna have to remove a point from the Little Pigs over to the Gorgeous Gorillas. And also, unfortunately, we must rescind my apology to the Black Eyed Peas from the record. That is stricken
This
from the record.
podcast is hilarious.
What in the world?
Like you miss a week, Ian. It's like what?
And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So the Black Eyed Peas, the apology's gone, and the Gorgeous Gorillas get a point. So that brings
And-
us to what's up?
And you lose that point.
Yeah, we lose
Yeah.
that point.
Everybody wins.
But we do get the point for the weird E3 trailer bet. So that brings us to Scrappy Little Pigs 13. And Gorgeous Gorillas 11. That was an E3.
That's an
hoo-hee.
E3.
That was a really nice.
We will
hoo-hee.
not allow that
Kyle,
next week.
I have literally less than any idea what you're talking about, but Chad is like screaming at me that both are played by Lindsay Wagner right now.
It doesn't matter.
Does it
you
matter?
Look, okay, here's the thing, chat.
I don't know what you're talking
Thanks,
about.
Chad.
Go to the wiki, chat.
Thanks, Chad.
Go to the wiki and write. These are actually the same character. Do that.
Well, there's a difference between. Wait, well, hold on. Wait.
You can't influence your own bets, Kyle.
There's a difference between characters and actors. Lindsay
Yeah.
Wagner could be playing both charactering, but they're just different characters.
That's an interesting
because,
question.
Because
So-
you have this
It's
woman
probably
who's
young,
bedridden,
her,
and
and
then you have
older.
this like crazy dress. I'm out in freezing temperatures in this weird dress with no shoes, and it's like that could be just a different manifestation of that character.
Okay, so Jones, I have a scenario for you. Okay. It's 15 years ago. I mean, it's 20 years ago. There's a movie coming up called Multiplicity. We don't know a thing about it. We know Michael Keaton's in it.
Right.
We make a bet. How many faces will be revealed
Right.
on the Multiplicity poster?
Yeah.
You say one?
No, yeah, I would agree that those are separate characters. Sure.
Okay. Those are separate faces even.
Yeah. Considering they're different
Yeah. So
human beings.
Chat, get over yourselves. Okay. So
goodness.
Patreon.com/EasyEyes
Please support us.
is where you would want to go if you think we're so humble.
Step 1, get over yourself.
Just like these poor,
Step 2,
this poor guy.
give us money.
Yeah, so patreon.com/EasyEyes. Easy Allies is primarily supported through Patreon. I just like remarked upon it today. Like it kind of like settled in on me during E3 doing this stuff live. Like we have this desk. You know what I mean? We have like these monitors, this fancy studio that all exists because of Patreon. And
Yeah.
it's kind of remarkable in a
This
way.
air conditioning.
Jones, it was so hot
This
last
is
week.
Yeah.
like E3 was associated with sweaty
Yes.
before.
It totally, for me, Brad, yes.
Sweaty
Just
for
like,
everybody.
Can't wait to peel the suit off.
Yeah.
Jones pointed out that behind the old desk, you could see I was wearing shorts with a suit coat.
Yes.
And you could like see my bare legs in
Right on the side.
the corner
Yeah.
of the shot.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Just the direct difference between last year and this year. I didn't realize we've done 4 of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we celebrated our 30-year anniversary, and I keep forgetting that means like you're on your 4th lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So please check out patreon.com/easyallies. If you would like this podcast 2 days
step
early,
back
if you
from-
want it on Wednesdays as opposed to Fridays, you should check out that $5 tier because that is you get early access to many Easy Allies programs and you get to submit to our silly segments. I do want to reiterate once more, Glenny's Game Jam is on. So Google Glenny's Cauldron Jam if you want to be a player or a creator or a judge, all those things. Just check that out. That's pretty much it for this podcast, this live podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. To wrap things up, because I won the bet this week, I get the right and responsibility to share my Twitter handle with the world. You know what? I should rescind all this. Because I got to do it last week. I should give it to the Gorgeous Gorillas this week as I give the point over. So who was in the Damiani seat? I don't
Rare
remember.
and admiral of you.
Yeah.
Admirable.
Admiral.
Admiral.
No.
Admiral.
Admiral of you.
Admiral Bussman.
Admiral of you, no! Okay, so you know what? Let's give it all to Ian, who's back here, who's doing all this stuff
Yeah.
live. Ian, you get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Eyes video you'd like to promote. You get to have the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off.
And then we're done right after that? So
Yeah, I kind of want to wave
ending
goodbye to
stuff?
everybody, though. So
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
do a separate goodbye for the live audience.
Okay. Well, should I cut to like the splash screen, then we'll come back for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My Twitter handle is Ian Hink, at Ian Hink with a C, C-K. The betting special was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out so you'll understand what the heck we're talking about half the time. That was a lot of fun to put together. And then Leaks is bad. And then good night and good game.
Sexy.